This world shall know pain.
What's up, y'all? We back at it with another episode of 2B Hero X, episode 17. And this episode focused on little Johnny. And I gotta be honest with you guys. Yo, this dude kind of had a sad story, a sad upcoming. Now, some of it was good, but for the most part, there were some very tragic moments that happened in little Johnny's past. And we about to dive right into it, man. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications, man. Let's get it. So as you can see right here on the screen, this is little Johnny's father. He's actually a hero. While Johnny was growing up, he was a hero. And it seems as if his ability was to be able to heal anything. But you have it where he's investigating the ship that crash landed all those many years ago. And upon, looking at the wreckage and stuff like that, a creature runs up on him. Big Johnny, so to speak. That's what it becomes. That's what it gets named in the future. And my whole thing is, this guy found the alien creature. Now, I get that he didn't want the government to find this creature because it looked like it was a baby, and they probably would have did all type of experiments. That's what he said. He was like, that's the reason why he didn't leave it or turn it over. So he brought this alien home with him. And I just feel like that's some foolish stuff to do. Like, why would you do something like that? Knowing you got a wife and child at home. Like, I don't know. I just don't think that was a smart move to make. But this is what this guy does. But when he gets home, you see that his wife is very sick, which is Big Johnny's mother. She's very sick. She has some type of disease. And, the father would come, little Johnny's father would come and heal the mom from time to time to keep her, living. They don't say what type of disease she has, but she seems like a very kind-hearted person. It could be because she's on death door, but I just like how, she gives Johnny this story about how babies are born. They're stars in the sky. They come down to choose their parent. And I really like that aspect. But you have it where eventually she does die. She does pass away. And little Johnny's father is on the whole scenario where he's like, yo, because he lost his wife, he doesn't want to be a hero anymore. He wants to give up the hero life. He wants to go to the countryside and live with his son, away from all of this, fame. And I imagine with him deciding to do this, I imagine he was only a hero so that he can have the money necessary to provide for his wife. That was the only reason he did it. I imagine so, because soon as she passed away, he instantly decides to pick up and leave. But you have it where he gives the, Big Johnny to his son, and little Johnny assumes that that's a star that fell down from heaven, which is his child. So he starts calling Big Johnny his son and says that he's the father, everything like that. But you have it where this other hero shows up. His name is Vortex, and Vortex doesn't want, little Johnny's father to give up being a hero. And you have it where he's like, nah, man, she was all the world to me, so I'm gonna just go raise my son in a world different from the city life. And he goes to do that, and you have it where, it looks like they're happy. They're starting over. They're having a fun life together as a family, father and son, grandson, if you want to consider Big Johnny to be the grandson. But you have it where little Johnny runs into some bullies, and they start bullying him a little bit. And that's when you kind of see what Big Johnny is actually capable of, because you see he kind of starts turning into this creature. Now, I get that little Johnny is a kid, and maybe not all kids think like this, but I feel like that's something you should have told your father. Like, I'm imagining he's about 10 years old at this point in time. He should have told his father that Big Johnny had the ability to transform. Like, he started glowing, and he started wanting to attack the people that was attacking him. I feel like that's something he should have told his father. But he's a child, and maybe that's the reason why he didn't tell his father. But I would like to think at that age, I would have been smart enough to tell my parent, hey, yo, Big Johnny is a little more than what he seems to be. I don't know, man. But eventually you have it where Vortex, that Vortex hero, he becomes Hero X. Apparently he's been Hero X for the past 3 years. And you have it where he comes back to get little Johnny's father, saying like, yo, I want you to come back. He doesn't really say the reason why, but of course you see that he's upset because little Johnny's father turns down the offer. And you have it where little Johnny, he goes to talk to his new now friends to try to investigate, you know, who his father was and his father passed and who he was coming up and the guy who actually came to visit his father. So you have it where little Johnny and Big Johnny, they find out the truth about the father. They head back, and as they head back home, that's when they find, you know, Big Johnny dead. And I mean, not Big Johnny, but the father dead. And you have it where little Johnny is saying like, yo, I'll find out who did this to you. You have it where Big Johnny is seeing him dead as well. And you see that he holds these two people dear because they took him in. And Big Johnny, he starts getting angry. He starts getting really angry. And you have it where he transformed to this big giant creature. I'm thinking he's feeding off of the hatred and anger from little Johnny. I could be wrong, but that's the vibe I'm getting, where he feeds off of this anger and he becomes this this giant creature of just rampaging throughout the forest. And you have it where Vortex comes to try to stop this creature. And little Johnny, as well as Big Johnny, do believe Vortex has something to do with the death of, you know, their father and grandfather. Now, I don't think it's him, just because it was cuts all around the area. And so I'm led to believe that it was GhostBlade who did it, man. Now, if you look, hold on, let me see if I can pull this moment up. If you look right here, you see that GhostBlade is there. GhostBlade is on the scene as well. And you have it where, you know, little Johnny's father is laying there cut up. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the same guy they showed a couple episodes ago that GhostBlade killed. So yeah, GhostBlade is responsible of the death of little Johnny's father. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it right now. Yeah, he's responsible for that death. Now, granted, we don't know why he did it because he never asks questions. He gets a mission of his target. He goes out, he seeks out his target, and he actually takes out his target. So we do know that, but we don't know the true reason why he was, you know, he was given the mission to eliminate your boy, little Johnny's father. Now, there's a good chance that Vortex could have hired him to do so because he wouldn't come back and work with him. But that's just something we're going to have to wait and see. All in all, man, very great episode. It's crazy to think that little Johnny in the past few episodes been spending time with the person who eliminated his father. That's insane. And I imagine in the last episode when we see little Johnny disappear, it could be because he realized who was the real killer or the real person behind the death of his father, which is GhostBlade. I'm curious to see how this turns out, man. It seems like everyone's going to be a part of this battle when it takes place in present day. But let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. And if you like the video, thumb it up, please subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.